guys, it's Aaron Zambrano with A to Z Window Screens, and today we're going to talk about Sunscreens care and maintenance. First of all, let me compliment you and congratulate you on purchasing Sunscreens with A to Z Window Screens. They are an amazing product. Purchasing Sunscreens is a purchasing decision you will never regret. Sunscreens cool your home by up to 15 degrees, keep the sun's UV rays from fading your carpet, furnishings, flooring, and window coverings. They save you a ton of money on air conditioning bills. They're excellent daytime privacy where you can see out but people can't see in. But a warning, at night, when the lights are on inside the house, people can see right in, so you're still going to want to shut their blinds. Don't pull one of the Emperor's New Clothes on us like some of our customers have. Daytime privacy only. And lastly, stops the reflected sunlight from hitting low E windows, bouncing off the window, and burning artificial turf or lawns or bushes or anything else like that. So sunscreens are an amazing product. You're absolutely gonna love them. So the first thing I want to talk about is the warranty on your brand new sunscreens. First of all, you have a 5-year warranty on the sunscreen itself. That's against fading, sun rot, unraveling, or anything like that, any manufacturer's defects. And then you have a 1-year warranty on the installation of the screen itself. And what that means is if within 1 year's period of time, a big wind comes along and blows the sunscreen off or anything like that, it's going to be covered under your 1-year A to Z warranty. If you need any warranty repair service, A to Z will come out and repair or replace the sunscreen at its discretion, free of charge to the customer. Our sunscreen warranty doesn't include abuse or neglect, and A to Z assumes no liability in the event that a sunscreen falls off and damages something in the fall. A to Z's liability is limited solely to the sunscreen itself. And while your sunscreens are warranted for 5 years, if properly taken care of, your brand new sunscreens should last up to about 20 years. The payback is usually within 2 to 4 years or less, just in air conditioning savings. So as you can see, for the money you put into your brand new sunscreens, you're going to be money ahead within 4 years or less, just in air conditioning savings alone. And they're going to continue to pay for themselves over 20 years. Next, I'd like to talk about a couple of care maintenance tips to help ensure that your brand new sunscreens do last that 20 years we're talking about. First and foremost, sunscreens are delicate and you need to handle them with care. The larger the sunscreen, the more delicate it is because it's just aluminum framing. And bending the aluminum frame is the #1 cause of damage that we repair on a day-to-day basis. With larger screens, you can avoid bending the aluminum frame by holding the sunscreen on top of the frame, not from the bottom. If necessary, use 2 people to carry the screen back and forth. 2. Keep the mounting clips tight. Most sunscreens are held in position with 4 to 8 little metal clips around the outside perimeter of the window screen. And those little screws that hold the metal clips in place eventually back out of the house and loosen the clips up. You don't want to lose your sunscreen in a strong wind if the clips are loose. The reason why the screws back themselves out is because of normal thermal expansion and contraction. As the sun hits the side of your house, the stucco or the wood siding of the house gets hot and expands, and then when the sun sets, the wood begins to cool and starts retracting. And that little daily natural movement, expansion and contraction, eventually causes the screws that hold the clips in place to start backing themselves out. So you really got to keep an eye on those clips and tighten them up once a year. A lot of times you can tell if it's been too long just by looking at the clips surrounding the outside of the window frame. If one of the clips or a couple of the clips are kind of loose and dangling off to the side, you know it's time to go around and tighten all the screws around the entire window. If neglected, the mounting clips could get so loose that they no longer secure the sunscreen to the window and the screen can blow off or fall off the window. Therefore, you must check and tighten the screws at least annually. And as a reminder, if the sunscreens have been removed and then reinstalled by somebody else, such as your window cleaner or you, the homeowner, the 1-year warranty installation is void because A to Z obviously can't guarantee that the clips were turned and tightened back in place properly by somebody else. And the good news is, in the event you've got some sunscreens that are really high or inaccessible, or you just don't feel like getting up on a ladder, A to Z is available to come out and give you a hand getting those sunscreens on and off for a nominal trip charge. All you got to do is give our office a call, and we'll be happy to schedule an appointment to come out and take care of your screens, getting them on and off as the seasons change. During the winter, if you remove your sunscreens, be sure to have a safe place to store your sunscreens out of the way, away from possible damage. Behind garage cabinets or on a shelf. One of the best solutions I've seen for storing your sunscreens is some homeowners in the garage create a shelf suspended off the ceiling on which they can get their sunscreens up and out of the way above the cars and everything else. And that way they're protected and won't become damaged inadvertently by a kid's bicycle or by a car door opening. So always, if you're going to store your sunscreens in the winter, be careful about where you put them. One of the most common questions we get is cleaning your sunscreens. How do you clean your sunscreens properly? We're going to go through the cleaning process step by step to show you exactly how to do it. First, you're going to spray off a clean cement area in your driveway or back patio. Driveways are generally best because you've got a large, huge open space without a bunch of patio furniture, and the water runs off nice and easily. 2. Lay your screens flat on the newly washed off cement. 3. Use a 5-gallon bucket with some liquid dish soap and a soft brush to scrub your screens in both directions and on both sides. Remember, once you're done scrubbing the one side in 2 different directions, flip the screen over and repeat the process on the back side of the screen. And if you're too smart to use a brush and soapy water, a lot of folks use pressure washers. If you're going to use a pressure washer, remember to use a non-aggressive nozzle on the end of your pressure washer wand and keep your distance so that as you pressure wash the screen and the screen's laying flat and supported on the cement, you don't damage the sunscreen fabric. Some of these pressure washers are so powerful, you can literally write your name in the cement, so we don't want to damage your sunscreen. And one thing you definitely don't want to do is, because the sunscreens are delicate, you don't want to have the sunscreen leaning against a fence or a wall and try to pressure wash it or scrub it off with a brush in that position. The screen can easily buckle and you can ruin the frame, so always make sure you're laying that screen flat on the cement where it can't get bent or ruined while you're cleaning it off. Once you're done scrubbing the screen and cleaning it off laying on the cement, now it's time to pick the screen up, lean it against an adjacent object, and then gently rinse it off with a hose. Again, don't try to rinse it off with a pressure washer. You could buckle the frame. So just use the hose to rinse it off both sides, flipping the screen back and forth. And once you no longer have dirty, sudsy water coming off the screen, it's ready to just be leaned up against the fence to dry out for a couple hours. And when you're reinstalling your sunscreens, be sure that you rotate all the clips around the window so they're perpendicular to the frame, and snug those little screws up very gently using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. You can use a drill, but be very careful. If you're using a drill, it's very easy to have that drill slip off the screw and break your window or damage your sunscreen, or you could accidentally over-tighten the screws, thus stripping out the holes in which the screw is, or denting the aluminum frame with the clip as you cinch it down too tight. So if you're going to use a drill, just be very, very careful and gentle. And once you're done with all that, it's time to enjoy your newly washed sunscreens for another year. And here's a pro tip. If you hire out getting your windows cleaned by a professional, don't assume the professional is going to do a good job putting the clips back and tightening them down. You must turn the clips and then tighten each screw down one at a time. Professional window cleaners, unfortunately, are notorious for simply just turning the clips in position and then walking away. You must tighten the clips down after you're done. So if you have a professional window cleaner coming out to do that for you, you must make sure you tell them that and watch them to make sure they do it. Thanks once again for doing business with A to Z Window Screens. We truly appreciate the opportunity you've given us to get you the breeze without the bugs or the sun without the heat and the glare. You can rest easy knowing that your new sunscreens will be working hard to keep you cool for many years to come. And just a little warning, sunscreens are a little like crack cocaine. They're addictive. Once you realize how effective these sunscreens are at keeping your house cooler, we won't be at all surprised when you call us back and say, hey, I need you to come back and do the rest of the screens on this, that, or the other side. Sunscreens are awesome, and we're happy to do them as your budget can afford. So give us a call at the office at 916-408-2496 whenever you're ready to get some more. Have a great day.